Hey guys, GHAZZY TV here with another Path of Exile 2 video, and in this one I'll be covering each and every single one of the classes that they revealed in the PoE2 reveal stream, and today we'll be focusing on the Witch, which will not, no pun intended, have a Necromancer Ascendancy class. However, there's some other cool things in there, so I'm going to watch the video here, or the segment of the Witch from the reveal with you guys, and then I'll talk about my takes on this, and go through the details of how I feel about this. And yeah, let's just let the video speak for itself.
Seat and let your minions do the work, then the Witch should be your choice. She can call forth hordes of undead monsters to fight for her, while casting powerful chaos spells that debilitate her enemies. Occult skills are some of the most varied in the game, with skeletons, noxious spells, specialty minions, curses, and sacrificial magic.
So I'll pause there and say, one of the cool things they've done with the chaos-oriented skills that we've seen in the playtest I've done in LA, for example, is that if you kill an enemy with like a chaos damage-oriented spell like Essence Drain or Contagion, the corpse itself will glow purple and have that effect on that corpse. And if you then raise that corpse as a minion, your minion will then deliver that chaos damage over time effect when they're hitting the next enemy. So you can just proliferate this and act like a walking plague with your minions. That's just really cool.
Before we talk about minions, we'll have to talk about a new resource in Path of Exile 2 called Spirit. This is a Spirit Gem, which allows you to pick from a range of persistent skills. All classes have a variety of these skills which can add some very interesting effects, like Arctic Armor, which does cold damage.
By the way, Raging Spirit looks amazing.
Raging Spirits, which summon fiery skulls each time you cast a fire spell. For the Witch, though, we'll want to be using our Spirit to create permanent minions. These minions will be revived automatically when they die, so you don't have to worry about resummoning them all the time.
Love that.
Here, I'm using the skill screen to allocate which minions I would like in my horde. You can see the spirit cost of each one. Skeletal warriors are cheap but weak, useful for tanking damage and distracting enemies. But I want more heavy hitters in my army, so I'm going to unsummon some warriors and instead add skeletal arsonists. Permanent minions come with special active abilities called command skills. You can order these guys to detonate your own minions for even more damage and area of effect. If you want a bigger army, you'll need a scepter. This new weapon type is imbued with even more spirit, allowing you to summon even more friends. And if you want an even bigger army than that, you can take advantage of corpses to summon true hordes of minions. But what can a witch do while her army is at work? Well, she has a range of chaos spells to spread disease amongst your enemies, or bone skills to impale them. Or, you know, you could curse them to make them weaker so your horde can take them down. There are 25 active occult skills. By the endgame, you'll be the leader of a fearsome army of the dead, consuming everything in its path.
So I want to point out the choice of words here. 25 occult spells is what they said, which means that they're referring to the minions being an occult spell, right?
The sorceress bends the elements to her will, using them to unleash devastation on her foes.
And that's the Witch. So what I'll be doing now is I'll fast forward to the ascendancies, and when you get to the Witch here, and we'll see if we can grab it. It's insane.
Transforming into a demon, make sure you stack a lot of life. Will ignite.
Let me get back to where this one's starting.
With summon a loyal hellhound. The Witch can ascend into the Infernalist or the Blood Mage.
So the two ascendancies is in the Infernalist or the Blood Mage. Those are the two choices we get as a Witch ascension. Now, we all expected Necromancer. That's what we expected, but we get Infernalist and Blood Mage. Now, that's pretty interesting, because I expected some full summoner-oriented focus here. Well, let's watch this, and I'll pause and I'll make some comments.
As an Infernalist, she can summon a loyal Hellhound.
A loyal Hellhound. This grants you a skill, Summon Infernal Hound. And what they've done is that when Ascendancy gives you a skill, you can fully link it and have a 6-link skill version of your Ascendancy skill. So this you can put support gems on this guy. 20% of damage from hits is taken from your Hellhound's life before you. So this is similar to how Pocket Pox, you know, that Righteous Fire version that all our minions have. We basically just reach down a pocket and we pull out a little mini version of Pox himself, the Righteous Fire Guardian from the Radiant Crusade. Beautiful, by the way. Now we're going to get an actual fire version, but he doesn't have the Righteous Fire, so kind of a scuffed Pocket Pox, I guess, that actually hits enemies. but we take 20% of our damage from hits is going to the Hellhounds instead of ours.
Companion. The Hellhound
see it
sets
here.
enemies on fire, as well as taking a percentage of the damage if the Infernalist gets hit. With Pyromantic Pact, you can turn your mana into Infernal Flame.
So this is really cool, and it's going to be a little hard to explain, but I'll try. So what it says, if you can see it, it says that maximum mana is replaced by maximum Infernal Flame. And then it says that gain Infernal Flame instead of spending mana for your skill cost. So when you're casting spells, your Infernal Flame is going to go up instead of you spending mana. So you fill the bar instead of depleting it. Taking maximum life and energy shield as fire damage when the Infernal Flame reaches maximum. So you take max life and energy shield as fire damage. So whatever numbers, you have 1,000 life and 1,000 energy shield, you'll take 2,000 fire damage when that reaches full. So it's a big chunk of damage you take. Sorry. However, you also lose all of the Infernal Flame on once you reach the maximum Infernal Flame. So 10% of the Infernal Flame is lost per second if none was gained in the past 2 seconds. So you can ramp it up to almost full, and then if you haven't done anything in 2 seconds, you will now lose 10% of this every second. That's how this works.
Flame. As you cast more spells, the flame builds up, and if it overflows, you'll take damage. Using Bringer of Flame, you'll want to make sure you keep the flames topped up. While your Infernal Flame is above 30%, all damage from you and your minions will ignite enemies.
So what this does is Bringer of Flame is the next node. Is when you're not on low life Infernal Flame. Or sorry, low Infernal Flame. That is when you're basically above, 55 or 50%, right? All damage from you and your minions contributes to ignite chance and magnitude. That's the magnitude of how strong that ignition is. Which allows you to now have an Infernalist being... Oh, 30%, sorry. I thought they changed it to 50%, Desrin. Unless they changed it in PoE 2. It refers to low Infernal Flame. And what it does is now we're weaving in methods. Oh, you just said it. Sorry, it's late here. I apologize. 30% then. So what it then does is now incorporating the idea of making the Infernalist work in conjunction with minions themselves. It's been a long day. It has been indeed. So basically, this is the way they're making the Infernalist work with like the occult minion gameplay, but it's not a necromancer per se, right? Which we are expecting the last ascendancy to be, which I think is going to be an occult version or occultist, right? And I think that's going to be split between chaos damage stuff as well as minion related stuff in a similar fashion to what they've done here. So what this just does for you is you're creating a fire minion mancer or summoner in which you're basically expected to have this Infernal Flame approach. And as long as you're above 30% then on Infernal Flame, that all your minions and all your damage is contributing to ignition's chance or ignite chance as well as ignition damage magnitude.
She can also transform into a literal demon.
So this is how Lilith looks when it's really well made. Sorry, I mean demonic possession looks. So this is a grand scale demon form. And the demon form is, again, a skill from the Ascendancy, which you can 6-link and socket in support gems into. And this looks fucking insane. I love the way this looks. Like look at it.
In demon form, she takes an increasing amount of damage.
So you take increased damage.
Increase rapidly as well.
And you deal more damage.
On transforming into a demon, make sure you stack a lot of life recovery.
It's beautiful.
She can also become a blood mage, a master.
And we don't know the other nodes on the Infernalists, but it looks fantastic, like insane. But it will be like some sort of hybrid minion fire mage kind of approach, which to me felt a bit awkward. But I'm hoping that the other Ascendancy nodes will be something like related more towards minions, is what I'm expecting, because the whole thematic approach of the witch base class, especially when you're looking at the playthroughs, I have videos on that on the channel as well, that's talking about the witch playthrough, because we didn't have Ascendancies. In those, the witch class skill gems, they are all about minions. And then there's like a couple of small other things you can do, but it's 95% freaking minions. So I'm assuming that they will have more minion-related stuffs. So this is the Blood Mage version, which the artwork, fantastic. Insanely cool. So this is the Blood Mage, which we will have access to in early access.
Master of life and energy. All blood mages must pay the price of making skills cost life as well as mana.
So this grants you the skill Life Remnant, which he'll talk about here in a moment. So grant the skill. Again, we'll point it out again and emphasize. Skills granted by ascendancies becomes a skill that you can 6-link and put support gems in. And that means that all your skills gains a base life cost equal to their mana cost. Does not replace the mana cost, but it'll now cost life as well as mana.
But in exchange, every monster they kill will drop life remnants, which allow them to...
And that's a perfect display right there. Let's see if I can back here a little bit. See that little blood that got sucked up by him? That healed him. That's the orb. After a killing blow, there's a chance that they drop this, which is very clearly visible. And by walking over it, he'll recover life back. So you spend life to cast your spells. And you pick this up, you'll get life back. So a really funny note that was mentioned in yesterday's interview with me and Darth Microtransaction on our Tavern Talk podcast with Jonathan Rogers is that one of the concerns I had was the first note on the Blood Mage, Sanguimancy, just says that you get life remnants, which is just life orbs drops on kill, and all your skills gain a base life cost equal to their mana cost. This just sounded like a negative impact to us, and it's like, that doesn't seem good at all. But Jonathan confirmed yesterday in the interview that when picking these orbs up, your life pool, let's give you a random number, let's say you have 1,000 life, you can get twice that as your max life as a thanks to these life orbs. That means that if you pick up life orbs, you can get to 2,000 life instead, which we know from the further notes here later will actually impact it, for example, crit damage per bonus 20 life, for example. So you can actually get twice your HP pool. However, this also means that this is an ascendancy node that is mainly only going to be beneficial when you're clearing enemies and not during boss fights, unless the boss fights have a set of adds that allows you to drop these orbs, because otherwise you won't be able to get that double HP count versus single boss target fights.
Which allow them to quickly gain back that life.
You see that blood orb there?
With Crimson Power, she can gain large amounts of extra life, and with Vitality Siphon, she can use her spells to leech life back as well.
And now you have again an emphasis on this hybrid approach of you dealing damage as well as your minions dealing damage, because now your spell damage is leeching life back, which you're spending with this specific approach of being a blood mage.
Once you've got a significant amount of life, you can use Gore Spike to make your
critical strike damage bonus for life as well.
A monk who is in tune.
And that's all the info we have on the witch. Like literally, that's it. That's all the information we have on the witch itself, with the ascendancies that we're seeing. Like that's it. And like, again, this is at least minion related. We don't know what these other nodes are doing, and no idea whatsoever. And we don't know if there's other minion related stuff on the Blood Mage. I will obviously be digging through every class, but I'll start with the Witch and the Sorceress. And we have no idea. And the Blood Mage was exclusively you doing damage kind of nodes on the Ascendancy that we saw. There was nothing there that was really minion related. So we have no idea what's going to happen there. But then again, if you look at the Witch in the PoE 1, we have an Elementalist, which is basically the Sorceress. And we have the Occultist, which is Chaos, CI stuff, right? Or Energy Shield stuff. And then we have the Necromancer, which is exclusively hard focus on the minions themselves. Whereas here, we have a Fire caster or minion kind of approach with the Infernalist. And we have a Blood Mage, which is like basically life-based, crit-styled caster damage dealer, essentially. But in the showcase video, they're using minions, so maybe there are minions there, because essentially the way minions works in PoE 2 is that they're now allowing us to have them reserved as spirit, which is also the resource we use for auras. So when you're playing a minion build in PoE 2, you're basically choosing between running auras or minions. Maybe there will be situations where we might have a little mix between them, but in most cases, what we're looking at is having either or. And in every showcase we've seen, both the Infernals and the Blood Mage are using minions when they're playing. So I can only assume that there will be some sort of minion-related approaches on every Ascendancy, because of the simple fact that the Witch itself, the base class, have a list of skills that is specifically oriented around minions. From 95% of the skill gems are minion-related. There was, 22 occult skill gems, like we mentioned earlier. And that's all the information we have. Now, is this good or bad? I have no idea, because we need to see the other Ascendancy nodes. But it was very surprising to see that they did not have a Necromancer Ascendancy that is specifically focused, hard time focused on minions themselves. So Maybe it will be a good thing because it will create more diversity, obviously, if there are minion-related stuffs around the other stuff. But I do really like the idea of the Blood Mage. But let's be real. The Infernalist, I mean, yeah, what can I say?
30% all damage from you and your
Just
minions
look
will
at
ignite
this.
enemies.
Look at this form.
She can
Look at
also
that.
transform into
Look
a
at this.
literal demon.
I mean, and look at the dodge rolls.
While
You see that? Beautiful. Just beautiful. I don't
Demon
even know
form,
how
she takes
to. I don't know
increase
how to express my hype. This is just absolutely insane. I can't stress how cool this is. So I'm very excited for PoE2 early access coming 6th of December. We will be running an uncapped subathon for that, by the way, so make sure you tune in for that. We're going to have some our early access beta keys. We're going to be giving away a bunch of my sponsors, providing some cool items, PC-related hardware to be given away during the subathon as well, so you don't want to miss that out. But again, I don't want to take too much of your time. So if you find yourself enjoying this video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe for more content, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Or I'll see you on the Twitch stream. I'll stream 6 days a week. So check out that in the links below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So till then, stay safe and keep rocking.